The researchers think it has to do with the fact that lower ranking males tend to be newcomers within hyena clans. It takes time to develop their support networks among other males.
They do have to spend a lot of time building up and maintaining these relationships before they can even think about courting females.
So, for male spotted hyenas, it might be that the best path towards romance is to begin with a bromance.
Hello, Professor Steve. Would you elaborate how economic growth is location specific? Thank you, Alan. Today I would like to talk about relationship between natural resources and economic development of the country. The world's also been defined by the basic fact that the location of these vital minerals and energy deposits is highly variable around the world. You're looking here at a map depicting the coal deposits in the world. Lots of coal in North America, in Russia, China, India, Australia, South Africa. But look at the rest of Africa, almost devoid of coal. Almost impossible for Africa to industrialize in the 19th century. Until very recently. A lot of South America with very limited coal deposits. In the next picture, you're looking at oil reserves where they're located. Of course, the Middle East is the center of about 70% of the proven reserves of oil around the world. Again, much of Africa devoid of oil. Again, another great limitation to Africa's economic development until recently. The United States, blessed with oil just as it was blessed with coal, blessed with almost everything. A continent of vast mineral resources. The next map shows you where natural gas is produced. Again, in parts of Russia, the former Soviet Union, the Middle East, the United States, of course. Sad again for Africa, not many major natural gas producers. Well, a short history really requires days, months to discuss this core subject of how mineral resources and energy resources transform the world time and again and shape geopolitics. Where there's been oil, coal, and gas, there's been a competition that's intense.
Hello, Mauro. This is a highlight. Hello, guys. Good evening. Hi, Shai. As of now, I'm how do you call this one? A review about this exam. Highlight. Happy Mother's Day to all the mother. Sankoku. Somebody wants some Sankoku. Okay, highlight. Correct summary. Correct summary. So, just listen the lecture. More than 1 minute. ABC. Okay. Next. Katubay, Shai. Hello.
It's common sense that some objects are harder than others. We refer to this characteristic as hardness. But what exactly is hardness? Let me tell you. It's the ability of a material to resist being damaged, scratched, or marred in any way. There's even a way to measure it. It's the Mohs scale of hardness. A German scientist, a mineralogist named Friedrich Mohs came up with the scale in 1812. Here's how he made it. Mohs took 10 different minerals. Then he rated them from 1 to 10 based on their ability to withstand damage and to damage other materials.
Hi, Ziza.
Talc received a rating of 1. It's soft, it's easily scratched, and can hardly damage anything. Diamond received a rating of 10. It's the hardest natural substance known to man. The other objects on the scale that number from 2 to 9 are gypsum, calcite, fluorite, apatite, feldspar, quartz, topaz, and corundum. I see worried looks on your faces. Don't worry about writing them down. They're listed on page 234 of your text. Take a look. Now, what about the hardness of other objects? It depends on which of the 10 minerals can scratch them. For instance, your fingernails get a rating of 2.5 on the Mohs scale. So talc and gypsum can't scratch them, but calcite can. What are some others? Let's see. Iron is rated between 4 and 5. Glass is between 6 and 7. And steel is close to 8.
Type
The hardest mineral is determined by Mohs scale of hardness. Diamonds are close to glass and hardness in the same way. Scale of hardness is created to rate minerals. Hardness refers to materials' ability to scratch other objects, and different materials are received different ranks of the scale. Mohs was the first person to realize how hard diamonds are. The professor tells the students to look in their textbook so they can learn about the hardness of them. What's the best answer for this one, Mike? Let's go ahead and rate minerals hardness refers. Letter C. Mohs scale of hardness is created to rate minerals. Hardness refers to a material's ability to scratch other objects, and different materials are received different ranks on the scale. Next one.
Let's face it, driving is dangerous. It's one of the things that we don't like to think about. But the fact that religious icons and good luck charms show up on dashboards around the world betrays the fact that we know this to be true. Car accidents are the leading cause of death in people ages 16 to 19 in the United States. Leading cause of death. And 75% of these accidents have nothing to do with drugs or alcohol. So what happens? No one can say for sure, but I remember my first accident. I was a young driver out on the highway, and the car in front of me, I saw the brake lights go on. I'm like, okay, all right, this guy's slowing down. I'll slow down too. Step on the brake. But no, this guy isn't slowing down. This guy is stopping. Dead stop on the highway. We're just going 65 to 0. I slammed on the brakes. I felt the ABS kick in, and the car is still going, and it's not going to stop. And I know it's not going to stop. And the airbag deploys, the car is total. And I fortunately, no one's hurt. But I had no idea that car was stopping. And I think we can do a lot better than that.
So the speaker is focusing on safety and what he needs to do to reduce the death rate in people aged 16 to 19. The speaker's purpose is to tell us about the seriousness and the randomness of accidents, and it's likely she is going to suggest a solution. The speaker's purpose is to tell us that she was involved in an accident. In her case, it was the fault of the driver in front who stopped on the highway for no apparent reason. He was going 65 kilometers per hour and just stopped. The speaker believes that drug and alcohol laws needs to be tightened, as around 25% of accidents related to these two cases. And this situation prevails despite religions warning us of the dangers. The speaker believes that drug and alcohol need to be tightened, as around 25% of accidents are related to this. Let's see. Letter D. Oh, the speaker's purpose is to tell us that she was involved in an accident. Yes, in her case, it was the fault of the driver in front who stopped on the highway for no apparent reason. She was going 65 kilometers per hour and just stopped. Yeah, it's good. Alright, this is a just listen to the lecture about more than 1 minute. Answer A, B, C. Next. Hello. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Cheapness and its cinematic markers, such as handheld camera work and low or high contrast light, aren't themselves guarantors of a tone of artistic authenticity. In fact, they're often misused by filmmakers short of inspiration as badges of sincerity that take the place of actual artistry. The theatrical realism of many older, ostensibly classic movies have dated terribly and reflect the very exclusions and compromises of the system that produced them. Only the ingenious exertions and inventions of a slender minority of great filmmakers could circumvent and override them. Yet, critics fetishize the styles of studio-era movies and take them for an enduring and immutable aesthetic standard, as if, with an appreciation of Shakespeare came a comparable fixation on lesser Elizabethans and a disdain for latter-day dramatists for not writing in iambic pentameter.
So nostalgia for movies as they were made in the past converges to nostalgic exhibition of their product methods. Only the brilliance and resourcefulness of a small minority of great filmmakers could overcome the hardest post and by budget constraints in studio era movies. The definition, the styles and production methods of low-budget movies of the studio era's the ideal artistic standard is misguided. Rather than imitating the styles of studio era movies in a bid to achieve artistic authenticity, filmmakers need to focus on invented ideas and realistic themes. Oh my goodness. Only the brilliance and the resources and a small minority of great filmmakers and overcame the hardest posed by budget constraints in studio era movies. The combination of the styles and production methods of low budget movies of the studio era as the ideal artistic standard is misguided. Rather than imitating the styles of studio era movies in the bid to achieve artistic authenticity, filmmakers need to focus on inventive ideas and let her be. Definition of the styles and production methods of low budget movies of the studio era as the ideal aesthetic standard is misguided. All good. Anyway, let's try. Good. Hello, hello, hello. What's on the line? So next one. After the highlight, correct summary. Still very far, Mike. Oh my goodness. After highlight, listening. Listening. Multiple choice, choose single answer. Single answer.
Actually, the word malaria means bad air in Italian, and centuries ago, that's what people thought caused this very infectious disease.
And who can blame them, really? Who can blame them for making that false connection? Who'd have thought that a tiny insect like a mosquito could cause so much sickness?
Yes, more surprising perhaps is the fact that it's taken scientists so much time since then to come up with a cure.
Ah, well, that's what we're going to talk about now, because it does seem that this is now becoming a real possibility.
Okay. The question is, what do the speakers feel about early views on malaria? They were understandable at that time. They resulted in unnecessary illness. They have contributed to current findings. They will be remembered in the future. What do the speakers feel about early views? Hello. So this one here, it's a multiple choice. Okay. Multiple choice. Simple answer. Hello, good evening. Simple answer. Listen the speaker. Listen the audio. Last minute. Hi, good evening. This 1 minute. Choose only one answer. Good evening, guys. Welcome to my live. Happy Mother's Day to all your mothers. Sorry, all the mothers. So. Okay. Next one.
Randall Jarrell, the great American critic and poet, once defined the novel as an extended piece of prose fiction with something wrong with it. Now, nothing is perfect, and you don't have to look very hard to find something wrong, or perhaps just something you don't like, about any work of fiction you care to name. Where, we might ask, does the editor come into this? And is it beneficial to an author to have an editor who is also a novelist? You would think that being a writer themselves, familiar with the process of writing a novel and its demands, they would be able to get inside the head of the author and be sympathetic and understanding of what needs to be done. This is not an unreasonable assumption to make. However, is it not possible that there is an opposite side to this? Editors might, from their experience as writers, possibly unconsciously, try to make over the submitted novel as they themselves would have written it. The ideal, one supposes, is for the editor to see the book through the author's eyes, but if they apply their own creative talent to the job, they might end up seeing it too much through their own eyes, and, in this way, take no account of the author's original intentions.
So in the speaker's opinion, we should the following is true of editors who are also novelists. They are always able to see the novel from the author's point of view. Letter B, they are sympathetic to the difficult lives authors lead. They may try to reshape the novelist's work in their own way. They find it difficult to see the author's real intentions. They are always able to see the